There's a divine dance going on in the universe, and we're all part of the whole. Each one of us a strand in the proverbial quilt of life. Things are constantly changing and moving. The constant ebbs and flows of life, birth, and death on so many levels. The sun rises and moves across the sky, and then it sinks, giving rise to the moon. We tend to fix others, and even ourselves, in a static position, unchanging. But the truth is that everything is flowing and changing. Every bite of food or bit of information we ingest changes us, and we change it as well. Every person we come into contact with, our various environments, they all change us, and we change them. This is so powerful when we begin to understand this, because when we change our perceptions of the world, we change the world around us. Gandhi said, "Our greatness lies not so much in being able to remake the world, as in being able to remake ourselves." Change can be stressful, whether we view it as good or bad. When we really look, each moment disappears the instant it arises. And anything that changes, it isn't a reliable source for lasting contentment or fulfillment then, is it? How could it be? It's so fleeting. So where can we find lasting contentment? Seemingly nowhere in this world, which can be tiresome and daunting, because as soon as we seem to find contentment or happiness, it changes. And so what we grasp at, it slips through our fingers just as quickly as it came. All the masters have taught that underlying that which changes, there's something that stays the same, beginningless and endless. This is the peaceful stillness that pervades us all. Lao Tzu reminded us that to know harmony is to know the changeless. And to know the changeless is to have insight. This is what some have called God, the source, ultimate reality, the Tao, Brahman, now, the void, and so on. The fact is that it isn't something we can intellectualize. It can only be experienced. Everything is temporary. You can remind yourself of that when you're going through a tough time, or when anger or jealousy or any other painful emotion arises. Know that it'll arise, and like all things, it's going to pass away. There's no reason to grasp at it or engage in it. Simply accept it and realize that it too will pass away. Inertia is when you throw a ball up in the air. It pauses before it comes back down. That pause, that space between breaths, that space between our thoughts. It's the silence where creation takes place. Like a beautiful composition of music, it's the space between the notes that creates the music. We can all learn to tap into this by simply learning to stop and breathe. For me, meditation helps get me to that space by first becoming aware of the thoughts, not fighting them or following them, but watching them arise and pass away, as all things do, and then I can observe the space between the thoughts, however brief it is. And with time, we can train the mind to expand that space and train our minds to access it more readily in our daily lives. The vast open space of this present moment, it's always there. And when we can learn to be with the present moment as it unfolds within that space, instead of engaged in past memories and regrets or fears and worry and planning about the future, then we can enjoy that moment to the fullest.